Feel the waves crashing on us, and the breathing's getting harder. Trying to stay above the water when we collide.
You always look like a star, I always look from afar. Too shy for your type, so when you said hi, guess you took me off guard. And you just laughed at my shyness, felt like I was meeting her highness. Cause you were always a queen, made me feel like a king. And now here we are, yeah. And we ain't worry about nothing, we ain't worry about nothing. We ain't worry about nothing, no matter what we've done, we put love in it. We ain't worry about nothing, we ain't worry about nothing. We ain't worry about nothing, so when the storm shall come, we're still loving it. Each other while the whole world is leaving, bleeding, feeling forgotten and sinking even. Though the waves are crashing on us, and the breathing's getting harder. Trying to stay above the water when we collide, yeah. Hey. We ain't worry about nothing, we ain't worry about nothing. We ain't worry about nothing, no matter what we've done, we put love in it. We ain't worry about nothing, we ain't worry about nothing. We ain't worry about nothing. Let the storms come, they're still loving it. Hey.
Holding my breath until I crash into you. Holding on tight, you're the type that makes me move. When we collide.
The song ended.
That's very abrupt.
Welcome to the Muddied Waters of Freedom with your hosts, Matt Wright and Mohammed Shaker.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Mohammed Airborne Shaker, I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom. First and foremost, let us, as always, thank Low Tide Kava Bar for the kava that we drink on this and every episode. Thank you to Alex Fortenberry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Bula.
Bula. Can you turn me up a little bit?
Well, yeah. I turned the mics down because the music was so loud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, man.
Cool. How was your week?
It was good.
Good. Good to hear. Any TV shows, movies, anything recommendations?
The Office.
Okay. You're not wrong. I watched this fantastic show. I watched this fantastic show this week. It's one episode. It's on Netflix. It is called Darren Brown. That's Derren. Darren Brown's The Push. And if you don't know who Darren Brown is, I don't blame you. He is a British or an English-British magician, mind reader guy. And his shows are fantastic. I've seen a lot of them. And he's got one called Enigma. And if you watch Enigma and you don't stop watching Enigma feeling like a 10-year-old all over again, like something's wrong. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like you watch it and you're just like, how did he just do all of that? It was really amazing. First time I watched it. So I've seen a lot of his stuff. But he's got this show right now called The Push, where he takes a random person and through a series of him just being like, hey, would you mind holding this bag for me? Hey, would you do this? Hey, would you do this? He tries to get them to the point that they will push somebody off of a building.
How?
Just continually getting them to say, hey, will you do this? Will you do this? Will you do this? I need you to do this. I need you to do this. And it just keeps escalating. Each little favor he asks is like slightly worse.
Yeah.
Slightly worse. And then
It's one person that he does this to?
Yep.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend Dave Creighton about something I read or something maybe I watched on YouTube in psychology. And it's if you get someone to do a little favor for you, they start thinking they like you.
Right.
And they're more apt to do more and more favors later on. Apparently it's a great trick to work with the opposing gender both ways.
Yes.
Like, hey, can you pass me that? That literally could start it off.
Right.
And they think, oh, I like this person. This is why I'm giving it to him.
Right.
Or doing what they're asking.
Yeah, you just slowly increase. You do something small like, hey, can you hand me that cup?
Yeah.
Or, will you give me a straw? And then you do that, and then it's, hey, will you hand me a napkin? Whatever. And you just slowly build it up. And, yeah. And that's what they do to this poor bastard. And I felt so bad for him throughout this thing. I was like, oh my, just say no. Just please say no to something.
Yeah.
But it was so, like, at the end of it, I'm sitting there at the edge of my couch, and I'm just glued. I cannot stop talking. I'm talking to one of my friends on FaceTime who's also watching it. She's about a half an hour behind me. And, I'm just staring at it. I'm just like, and, she's laughing at me, but, I don't care because I'm just completely enthralled with this. And everybody needs to watch it because it is fantastic. Darren Brown is amazing at what he does. And I highly, highly recommend people checking that out. But it's also a great case study for what people are willing to do if you just ask them in the right way.
Yeah, definitely.
You can get people to do a lot of things just by asking the correct way.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, it was very, very cool. Highly recommend it to anybody out there looking for something to watch. And then I watched it was a documentary series on Netflix called Evil Genius, and it opens with a bank robbery. In Erie, Pennsylvania, and this guy walks in with a bomb strapped around his neck, and he robs the bank, and he gets arrested, and so bomb squad's out there, like cops are all out there, and he's like trying to explain to him, he's like, it wasn't me, I was forced to do this, and they are like, okay, we're gonna try to get somebody out here, and then the bomb goes off, and boom, this dude blows up.
Yeah.
Which they showed.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And after that, they so it's just like, okay, that's weird, and they're kind of going into the investigation a little bit. But as weird as it is, and the guy was a pizza delivery driver. He dropped off a pizza, and then he said he was told to do this. That's what they figured out before that bomb went off.
Yeah.
Right. After that, it gets real weird. And it's just crazy. It's like 3 or 4 episodes long. It's like 3 hours total. And it's completely, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
But I spent one day watching both of those things. But yeah, it was fantastic. I do want to give a warning out to all of our viewers and possibly our listeners too. We're in the middle of a thunderstorm here, and there is a good chance that this is going to be a real short episode. So if so, very sorry about that. But Mother Nature can't be stopped.
Yeah. So tomorrow is Independence Day.
Yes, tomorrow is the 4th of July.
Yep. But they actually signed it yesterday,
Right,
if you didn't know.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and August 2nd, I believe, is a different date that's of importance.
Yeah, August 2nd is like when the colonies actually ratified it.
I believe.
I mean, the
no,
Congress
that's when
voted.
they ratified the Constitution,
Yeah, something like that.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, tomorrow is Independence Day, which was yesterday.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know why World War, because that was where I was going. And why we got independence, I guess, from Britain. A lot of people think it's simply taxation, which is a good cause.
I mean,
like, yeah, what's
taxation is
taxation.
theft.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know why the taxation started, and some people incorrectly assume it was because of the French-Indian War, and then they don't know that the French-Indian War was part of the 7 Years' War, which is commonly known as World War Zero to some people, historians, because it was so big. Everywhere, like all of Europe, battles. The war was from Europe to all the way to India, North Africa, to all the all the colonies here in the New World. And part of that was the French-Indian War, which the colonists did engage in with the French and the Indians. And it was a mess, but it's World War Zero because it was so freaking big.
Gotcha.
And then, because some people try to be like, well, the colonists did that to themselves by trying to take over Indian lands and fighting the French, but that's not really true. That was already part of the 7 Years' War. It was just technically its own little war within a bigger war, And then they had the Stamp Act and the Tea Act. And that made Americans really unhappy, especially the Tea Act, because we're going on into like protectionist territory here. The English or the British were trying to force the colonists to only buy British tea,
Right.
rather than wherever the fuck they wanted to buy it from. I don't really know where they bought it from, aside from Britain, but they were forcing them to buy just British tea. And yeah, that's why you had the independence, because they said fuck taxes.
Right.
Well, now everything's taxed.
Yeah, it was I believe it was a 3% tax
Yeah,
back then, and right now we're paying what, 35?
yeah, one tax. That's just one tax.
Right.
Yeah, you add in all the other taxes, it's even more.
Right, but that was the one that really pissed him off, was that 3%.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa, that's a bit much.
Yep.
That 3 cents per dollar, which granted back then was hefty, but still, it's like 3% back then was no. That's where we draw the line, and now it's like, right, but
the roads.
It's the price that we pay to live in a civilized.
Yeah, it's
no,
for the
it's
roads.
not.
It's for
It's
the
for the
roads.
roads. No, Domino's is fixing the roads on their own, which is why I only order from Domino's now.
Yep. And actually, I don't think it was a constitution in August, because it was the Articles of Confederation first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That would make more sense.
Yeah. And then it was a constitution.
Any big plans for the 4th for you?
Nope.
No?
Did you know that John Adams and Thomas Jefferson both died on the 4th of July?
I did know that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I did. Wasn't Tommy born on the 4th of July?
I don't remember that,
Yeah.
but I do
Tom
remember
Cruise
they both
was.
died on it.
Tom Cruise was born on the 4th of July.
Really?
Well, he was in the movie Born on the 4th of July.
Oh. I thought, what's his name would have been born on the 4th of July. from National Treasure. Forget his name.
Nicolas Cage,
Yeah.
Nicolas Coppola. Nicolas Coppola. I saw this. I may have talked about this on the show once before, but I saw this really old TV show that starred Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Coppola. And it had Crispin Glover, who's the dad in Back to the Future. And for anybody who doesn't know who that guy is, it's called The Best of Times. And it's a variety show with all of these teenagers. And it's about teenage life in like the 70s. There was one episode, and if you find it, watch it. It's on YouTube. It's 45 minutes long. It is an acid trip in a 45-minute segment. It's unbelievable. It's so weird. One moment, Nicolas Cage is talking about how he doesn't want to go to war in Central America, and then the next minute he's at like a school dance talking about how he's leaving the next day to go to war so he can get laid. It's so weird. But yeah, anyway. If you find that, it's on YouTube. It's really easy to find. Best of Times.
So hopefully everybody has a good 4th of July.
Yeah, be safe. Call Uber.
Call Uber.
Right. Call Uber. Call Muhammad.
Yeah.
He'll come pick you up.
Or Lyft and tip me.
Right. Uber. Or...
I need tips in cash so I don't report it to the government.
Right. Cash tips. Just say it's a gift.
I can beg for tips on the show. I don't do it in the rides. I never ask for tips in the rides. On the show, though, I can ask for tips. So make sure you tip me because I need it. I'm in the process of moving right now.
Yes.
I moved in with one of my other best friends in our group, Joe.
Yes.
So I'm 40 minutes away from where I used to live.
Yep. That means he's about 30 minutes away from me.
Yep.
Here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's awesome that you and Joe are living together now.
Yep.
That should be a good time.
It'll be better for me.
Yeah, probably.
No, it will be.
Right.
I mean, everybody knows I'm dealing with depression. So
I know.
No, this is going to be really good for my head, I think.
Yeah.
Doctor thinks so. Joe thinks so. You think so. Pretty much everybody.
Pretty much
so.
everybody would. I can't think of anybody that wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's awesome that you guys are living together. It should be fun. Should be a good time. I heard that you texted him the other day, and you said, "Is it okay if I come home late?"
I did. Maybe I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "Wow, he has not lived outside of his parents in a long time."
No, I've never asked them.
You've never asked them?
No, well, it's been 2 years since I've asked because they've just gotten used to it.
Right, gotcha.
But it was out of respect thing, you know.
Right, no, I get that. I just,
Yeah.
I just thought it was really funny when he told me that. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see Muhammad asking that question just to make sure.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's been 4 years since I moved in with my parents.
right.
You know, and it was okay for the 4 years, but not the best. Because my parents, you know how parents are, you know.
You know, as
like,
Will Smith one time said, parents just don't understand.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, I got back from the army, got divorced, got mad, left the country over my divorce. Came back after my year of doing the defense contract stuff. And they were like, hey, do you want to move in with us? And I was like, yeah, I'll move in. And they're like, hey, would you mind helping us out, you know, with rent or something? And they left it up to me. So I was like, I'm an adult. I'm giving them $500 a month. So it really ended up me paying $500 a month for a room that couldn't really bring any, you know, ladies back home and had to deal with them all the time. So $500 a month was just started to be not worth it, you know. So now it's good that I moved out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I saw you on Saturday?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, at low tide. Saw you Saturday on low tide, and it was a night and day difference from the last time you and I had seen each other.
Yeah.
So definitely a good thing. Glad that you are doing better. Hopefully everything continues moving forward in a manner. You're planning on going to school, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go to nursing school instead or what.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I should be starting in September. So
Cool.
yeah, I think if I go to nursing school, I'll start in September or something. I don't know yet. I haven't talked to that school, or I'll go to business school starting in August. So within like 3 weeks from now.
Right.
So yeah.
Good. Excellent. Good to hear. Good to hear everything's moving forward. It's 4th of July. You're going to make a crap ton of money tomorrow
Hopefully.
celebrating the independence of our nation, which happened a few days ago. It was the Declaration of Independence was signed, by the way,
What?
on the 2nd, or on the in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what happened on the 2nd?
I don't know. Somebody said that in the comments.
The 4th is when the Committee of Five,
Right.
headed by Thomas Jefferson, wrote the letter basically explaining why they were declaring independence.
What was the 2nd?
Okay, so no, I think they signed it on the 2nd and ratified it then in August, like a month later. Because the 4th is when the letter itself was
Okay,
written.
yeah. That maybe it was ratified.
Yeah.
It went by really quick when I just happened to glance down at it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would make sense, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, speaking of independence,
Yes.
apparently the Farm Bill is giving independence to farmers,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. So, the Farm Bill passed the... Wow, am I blanking? Thank God I've got my notes up right here. The Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry approved the bill by a vote of 20-1.
Yep. Well, and then the Senate,
And then, yep, and then I was going to say...
and then Congress even voted on it. But now, if you don't know how bills work, they do something called a bicameral, basically, meeting where where senators and congressmen sit together to make both bills look the same. That's all that's happening right now. And then when that is done, they'll vote on it again. And when that's done, that'll go to Trump.
Right.
Or, whoever the president is. That's how it works. So
Right.
It's a bicameral committee. Committee, that's what it's called. Bicameral because it has both sides of the House.
Right.
Or Congress or whatever. And I think Trump will probably vote yes because he has at least mentioned he'd legalize pot if it comes his way. Which is really weird considering the whole Jeff Sessions thing, but
Right.
whatever.
Good old Jeff Sessions.
I don't know why he has a guy that he disagrees with on stuff in there, but well, whatever.
I don't either. But also, Senator Charles Grassley, Republican from Iowa, he is sitting there saying he is going to fight that.
Yeah, did he say why?
He said that he wants to remove the legalization of all derivatives of the cannabis plant from all of the bills. He wants to make CBD illegal in all 50 states.
Oh, he
again.
just wants hemp.
No, he wants to get rid of that too.
Oh, so he doesn't want to even...
No hemp, no CBD, no medical marijuana, nothing. This guy is
Yeah.
1936 Republican.
Yeah.
He is fighting it tooth and nail, trying to keep anything having to do with the cannabis plant out of America.
And hemp is so good, man, because we had... I don't remember his name, and I feel bad about it.
Steve.
Edmonds.
Yes.
We had Steve Edmonds on the show early in the show, like when we started.
That was one of our first
guests.
well,
right?
It was one of our first videos.
Yeah. Because he had called in from wherever he is, right?
Yeah, somewhere in Middle Florida.
Yeah. And he told us all about the whole hemp for water bill that he'd been working on for Florida to at least get it
for years.
Yeah, to get it legalized in Florida. Hopefully he doesn't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I do know that the guy that is running for Agricultural Commission here in Florida, which I feel really bad. I know his first name is Matt, but that's because I'm narcissistic.
By the way, being a narcissist doesn't mean you're a narcissist. Just so you know.
What?
Just because you say you're a narcissist doesn't mean you're a narcissist. Being a narcissist is actually a bad thing. I'm just throwing it out there.
Right, I know.
But you're not a narcissist because you say you are.
There are different levels. I'm on the lower level of narcissism. But,
Okay, I can give you that.
But you've seen me when I get around a mirror.
No.
No? Oh, man, I look at myself all the time. When I was working in Alaska, it was really funny. People made fun of me because we had mirrors fucking everywhere.
Well, yeah,
Right. Right? Everywhere. So people could see what they looked like in the jewelry. So when I would be standing there, I was setting up mirrors that whichever way I looked, I could see myself.
That's funny.
It was a fun game to play, and then people started noticing that I was doing that. People started noticing I was doing that, and then they were making fun of me. But then they started helping me set up the mirrors, so it was great. Man, I feel really bad because I just met this guy this past week, and his name is Matt. He's running for the Agricultural Commission. Dude's amazing. He's gonna win.
Oh, is he?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Big Liberty guy. Big Liberty guy. One of the things
in Florida?
in Florida.
Is that Adam Putnam's spot?
He's termed out, obviously, because he's running for governor.
Well, no, is that his spot?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he a Republican?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's being supported by the RLC.
Nice.
So
And the party, the local parties and all that?
Yep.
That's cool.
yeah, but he is very pro hemp, and I wish I could remember his name, and I apologize for that. But he was really nice, super nice guy. But yeah, very big on hemp and hemp legalization and industrial hemp here in Florida. So even if this farm bill doesn't get passed by the time the elections come around,
Mm-hmm. Who knows what that means, though, because we legalized medical marijuana here, and it's just
Right, and
racketeering, you know?
yeah, it's what we did for medical marijuana was not actually legalizing medical marijuana. You can't smoke it, which okay, that's fine. I've seen the arguments on why flower should not be considered medical marijuana, and I can understand it.
Flower, is that
That's
bud or
Yes.
whatever? Okay.
right. Yeah, that's not the, like the gummies or the whatevers. So I can understand it because it's hard to say how much THC is in what it, like when you crumble it up. I don't even know the terminology of this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But so I can understand that. But they're saying that they're doing it more for, oh, well, you're inhaling it, so it can't be good for you. Which
Yeah, well, you're burning something.
you
so
are
whatever.
right. I get it. But, so yeah, you can't smoke it. You can only use edibles. You can't, I don't know if vaping it's allowed or not. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it may be just edibles.
I doubt you can get much THC out of vaping.
No, you 100% can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I did a very firm study of this in Alaska, where it was legal.
Yeah.
And yes, you can get a good
Okay.
amount of THC from vaping it. It's expensive in Alaska, probably everywhere, but yes, you can definitely get THC from
Wow, that's cool.
it. Yeah, and I'm not going to say that I had some last night,
Mm-hmm.
but it worked then too.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so the farm bill looks as though it is going to pass, which is great because once we get hemp, it will help the pollution in Florida,
Yeah.
the pollution of the waters in Florida, which I learned all of this from Steve Edmonds.
Wait, how?
Because hemp, when you grow it, will help revitalize the soil, so you won't get as much runoff
Okay.
into the Okeechobee, for instance. So you won't have the problem with the sugar industry with the runoff
Yeah.
running into sorry, Greg finally got me to laugh at a comment.
Our Greg.
Yeah. He said that if I was a comic book character, my name would be Vapey Vane. That one was good.
Yeah.
But hemp will revitalize the soil, which will stop the runoff into the different waterways, which will help cut down on the amount of water pollution that we are having in Florida. So that way, that's one of the things that Steve was so adamant about it, was in order to help stop pollution of our lakes and our rivers and the ocean. If we did legalize industrial hemp, we'd be able to keep it. We'd be able to revitalize the soil, so that way the
Nice.
runoff wouldn't be as bad. That was just one part of the entire hemp
Yeah.
for water thing, but it was a very important part.
Yeah, and then there's all the different products you can make out of hemp.
You can make
'Cause, like,
everything out of hemp.
Yeah, you can, well, ropes, obviously, but
Right.
then you can help
Clothes.
with paper. Yeah,
Paper.
clothing, paper. Apparently, hemp cement. I think wood as well.
Yeah,
like some
hempcrete.
kind of wood.
Hempcrete. There's a house up in Tarpon
Yeah,
that is completely made out of hemp minus the glass.
yeah,
Like everything in there is hemp. It's all made from hempcrete. It's insane. I've been inside of it.
yeah,
It's a very cool house, but it's like pretty much everything
yeah.
is hemp. And
that would help bring construction costs down because now not everyone's fighting over wood and cement. You
Right.
know.
you can they'd make a hemp plastic that's biodegradable. It's not plastic, but you know.
Is that what Bula's using? Is that what plastics are made out of that are biodegradable?
Mm.
Okay.
I have no idea. I looked them up. I looked them up once to appeal to the hippie crowd
Yeah.
at low tide. Back when I was there, and it was really expensive, and it was almost so expensive we would have had to raise the cost of everything, and it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
But very good. They're very biodegradable, very usable, and hemp is pesticide free,
Yeah.
so you don't have to use,
Stuff on it. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
or pest free, or like naturally pesticides or something.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it.
They
I
can
should.
protect themselves.
I was on the board of National Hemp, and I don't even know the stuff about it. I feel as though I should know that stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, hemp is a fantastic product, and hopefully the Farm Bill does legalize it. And if the Farm Bill doesn't legalize it, hopefully Florida legalizes it very soon, along with each of the 50 individual states.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like I was reading an article shortly before we started that industrial hemp's legal in Kentucky. It's just real hard to grow.
Why?
Something about the land. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's just a Kentucky problem.
Right. Something about the land where, we have everything that's right here.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Kentucky.
Speaking of Kentucky.
Yeah, did you see that somebody was like threatening to like axe down?
Axe down Rand Paul's family and put him in a box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Right?
Please get your people under control.
I know. I saw that. Actually, so on Saturday, I went to an event.
Mm-hmm.
And at the event, the good senator from Kentucky was there. And he actually said, he was like, "Man, this has been a hell of a year." He didn't say hell. This has been a crazy year. I was shot at the baseball game.
Yep.
One of my neighbors broke my ribs.
Yeah.
And just today, somebody was arrested for threatening to chop my family up with an axe and put them in a box.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Yeah, that's a bad year.
Yeah,
That is a bad year."
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't understand why people have to take their political differences out on violence. Like, it's one of the reasons I think the United States is one of the greatest countries in the world, and why I think the independence of the United States, like, this is topical for tomorrow, like independence of the United States. We're one of the only countries in the world that has had this many consecutive years from its we are the only country in the world that has had 200 whatever fucking years.
239?
What? Yeah.
Something.
Over 230 years of peacefully, allowing, peacefully relinquishing power from one person to the next, and one group to the next, and one political person to the next.
There was a small hiccup there in the 1860s, but
No, that doesn't count. No. I honestly don't count it. Because I wouldn't compare. I'm talking like elections and all that. You know?
Like we never had a. It wasn't that we were trying to overthrow. It wasn't that the South was trying to overthrow the North. It was that they were just trying to leave.
Yeah, the Northern War of Aggression against the South in the 1860s was definitely a hiccup when it comes to secessionism and allowing states to gain liberty and not be part of the Union. But the War of Northern Aggression ended and the South lost. It's okay. Maybe we'll try again one day.
Well, according to Alex Jones, that day is tomorrow.
Yeah.
According to Alex Jones, Civil War starts tomorrow. I don't know if you said what time, but, I'm certain it's going to be when, the fireworks start. Man, how about that? Man, I'm going to go completely off of anything that we had written down here. But how about that guy in Portland?
I don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about that? You didn't see that guy, the Antifa dude? They were having some protest, counter-protest.
Oh, was it a fight? Was it a fight
Yeah.
between people?
Dude hits this guy with a steel rod. Just one of the police baton kind of things, that, the extendables. Hits him. The dude takes the hit, punches this guy in the face. Dude just collapses.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, and then like a girl ran up to the guy, and then the guy, thank God, he had the wherewithal to actually, and then he backed off, and he was like, no.
Good.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, like the dude hit you with a rod, like, yeah, you have the right to punch him.
Yeah.
But you didn't hit the girl, so good for you, man.
Yeah. No, the funniest video I've seen about Antifa was some kind of riot and a bunch of people that they were against, I guess. And this guy wearing an America cape, he was wearing a flag or something around his neck as a cape.
Is it bad that you said America cape and I thought Superman?
Yeah, no. And he ran up to this guy, Antifa guy, took his mask off. And this was at the end of them running.
Right.
Took his mask off. So now this Antifa guy doesn't have a mask on. So now he looks like everybody else. So as he's running with his people, one of his friends clocks him in the face with like a 2x4. And then he gets pepper sprayed. It's the funniest thing ever. I was like, yep, good medicine.
Oh, I don't know who
I
that
bet
guy
you he was no longer a commie after that.
Man, I've been with you this entire time. Sorry, I didn't know what you looked like.
Exactly. Like, that was so funny. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Oh, yeah. So they were up there protesting Trump's immigration policies.
Yeah.
And speaking of immigration,
Yeah.
today the House rejected the Securing America's Future Act of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I switched on the page that had the notes on it, but I believe 193 Republicans voted for it, 41 voted against it, and every Democrat voted against it.
Yeah, that was the number.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now, I have not read this bill in its entirety, and I did not see any of the argument on it. So I just glanced at it real quick. So I'm just going to read a few of the things that are on the bill. The bill amends the Immigration and Nationality Act to revise immigrant visa allocation provisions, including family-related visas, and non-immigrant classification for parents of adult U.S. citizens is created.
Whatever that means.
Right. I was going to say, it does not say what it revises to, so I can't really speak.
Yeah, I saw the same
right. Yeah.
one.
The diversity visa program is eliminated.
I kind of want to know what that means, but it sounds
bit.
like a good thing to me.
Right. Annual immigration levels are revised. Again, just revised. I have no idea what it means.
Yeah.
The limit on worldwide level of employment-based immigrants is increased.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. That means that, people who are going to be coming here working, more of them can come.
Yeah.
I'm good with that, 100%. The H-2C visa temporary agricultural worker program is revised, and a trust fund is established to provide incentives for such workers to return to their country of origin. I'm guessing that means that it was dropped.
What, are we paying for them to go home? Is that what it is?
That's what it looks like.
A trust fund. Trust fund is usually a private thing, but okay.
Sure. DNA testing to establish family relationships is authorized.
I can agree with that. I can agree to that.
I can agree. See, like if that... Normally I'm like, no, I don't want the government taking DNA. But when you have a problem with child trafficking coming up through the borders,
yeah,
and they're like, oh no, this is my child. All right.
Yeah, which certain friends of mine on Facebook seem to really care about child trafficking. I don't know why. You may know who I'm talking about, maybe not, but...
I don't.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. That was Joe we were talking about. Yeah, like if child trafficking is such a problem, then you should want to make sure that the child belongs to the person this person says they belong to, you know?
Right. So completely understand that one. Disagree with the government taking DNA, but at the same time, there is really no other way to prove it.
Yeah.
Employment eligibility verification provisions are revised. Man, I really wish they had used anything I wish they had said decreased, increased on this instead of just revised.
Yeah.
Or I had done a little bit more research on it. Either one.
You'd be going through pages.
I know, so much. The Department of Homeland Security shall establish an employment verification system. Feel as though that should have been done already.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel as though that's necessary. But I know that when I saw this, one thing I didn't like was no federal, state, or local government entity or individual may prohibit or restrict a federal, state, or local government entity or official from complying with the immigration laws or assisting related federal law enforcement activities. So that means that if the feds come into your area and you're like, no, we don't want you here, you can't stop them.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Right. And that was the one where I was like, I bet that's what lost you a lot of Republican.
Oh, probably. As soon as I saw that, I saw that it said state and local, but I mean that just means federal trumps them, because how there's no other way to word that really where that protects state and local.
Right. And I know that this bill was to actually bring families back together. I know, that they would stop separating the families. The way that they would do it, I'm not 100% sure on. I don't know if that meant that they would just detain the children longer or if it was just kind of like a catch and send back home kind of a thing.
Which is bad, because what if you send back actual Americans? So there should be an actual trial so you can prove that you're an American.
Right.
If that's the case.
Right.
Because you don't want to just catch and release back actual Americans either, you know?
Right.
So they have to stick to the actual trials.
Right. I would agree with that. I don't really have such a problem with the mass trials that they're doing. I don't like them, but when you have the huge influx of them, I'm like, okay, whatever. But at the same time, it's how do you, other than having a passport, how do you prove you're American?
I don't know. I don't know what mechanisms they have. They might have some mechanisms that could be for you to prove that you are, even though you don't have one.
Right.
Maybe you lost it. Maybe you lost it. You've seen the movies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have.
Agents and friends of agents will lose passports and they'll try to get back in without a passport. So yeah, it happens in the movies. It might happen in real life. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Right.
I'm sure there's some truth to that.
Yeah, I'm certain that somewhere in there is some sort of. I'm certain that there is some sort of.
I'm sure people have lost passports. I mean, we lose everything, you know.
So Spike just recommended that we make DNA results show like Maury does. You are not the father. Family is deported.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spike, getting a little bit off topic there. Speaking of Spike, tomorrow is going to be the very first episode of My Fellow Americans by Spike Cohen, which I find hilarious that we have the anarchist doing a show on Independence Day.
Yeah, right?
I am so terrified and excited for this first show.
I'm an anarchist.
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
I'm not doing it on Independence Day.
Right. But yeah, I find it hilarious that he is doing his show on Independence Day.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for the show. I think it's going to be so funny and so exciting. But yeah, I totally forgot where we were.
Immigration
Stuff. But yeah, so if the Facebook lawyers are as keen as they say they are, and this thing actually ended, like if this was a good bill, like some of them say it is, and they actually were going to end family separation, the fact that 190 Democrats voted against it shows that it's all partisan. I can't actually say that because I haven't read the bill.
Yeah.
I would have to get a much more in-depth look.
Well, like right now, it looks very partisan.
Right now it looks exceptionally partisan. When you have well over half the Republicans voting for it and none of the Democrats.
Mm-hmm. And actually, speaking of Mexico, that shit's about to become an even worse hellhole.
Oh God!
Because they just elected like a far left guy.
Yeah, they just
like
elected
a socialist.
they elected like the Bernie Sanders of Mexico as their president.
Yeah, and that shit's gonna probably turn into fucking Venezuela, which is bad. Like we're gonna get even more people now trying to come in. And I just sounded like a far right fucking alt-right guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's true though. I mean, now we're going to get a lot of people trying to come in and sorry, like it's people my mind has been changed on it in that complete open immigration is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
That's where I stand right now. I mean, if somebody wants to change my mind otherwise, go ahead. Right now, that's what I'm thinking.
Right. Yeah, I used to be open borders guy, and I am not open borders guy. I feel as though we do need some sort of immigration reform.
Yeah, of course.
I think we do need to make the process easier.
And I'm not really for a wall. I'm just not for open immigration. No. I mean, not the brick and mortar wall that everybody envisions on the Trump side. You know. Like, I don't believe in that, but, yeah, I don't believe in open immigration.
No, I don't believe in open immigration. I don't believe in, I don't believe in open immigration, and I don't believe for stricter immigration laws. I think that we need to figure out a safer way to allow people into the nation at a reasonable speed.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't think it should take, 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years plus to become a legal immigrant. I don't think that's necessary.
And I don't believe in lotteries either. Although, is that how? Yeah, I don't believe in lotteries either. Like they have the visa lotteries where it's a lottery and you get to enter the United States. I think it should be merit based. Like if you have a skill or a degree or something, then yeah, you can come in. And that I'm not trying to take away from like political refugees and all that. No, like that should still be a thing in my opinion.
No, like I understand that there are asylum seekers and sure, yeah. I understand that. And yes, I am compassionate to the asylum seekers, but asylum does not mean I want a better job.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a better job outside of wherever. Like, the mother.
Unless they have skills or a degree, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, saying asylum seekers, like I get it that they're going to come here looking for refuge, and yeah, I'm okay with actually bringing them in.
Yeah,
fine with that. But if they're saying, "Oh, I'm seeking asylum," but all it is they want to come to America for a better job, that's not seeking asylum. That's looking for immigration status.
I think we should. I think they should allow like private. I don't know how it works. They should make private sponsorship easier. Yes. So the people on the right wing of things in this country, like all the Republicans and Christians, can sponsor, I don't know, religious and political refugees from the Middle East and Africa that they want to bring here, like Christian people maybe that are persecuted. And it would be easier also just as easy for, liberals and progressives to privately sponsor families that are trying to escape, I guess, economic issues and gang violence in South America and other parts and world. But you have to tie some responsibility to private sponsorship. I think that would work better.
And personally, I don't know if I'm going to speak for you on this.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I feel as though we can really curtail the cartel violence in these different nations? By legalizing all drugs here in America.
Well, yeah, we said that, I think, last episode.
Did we? I think that we should just legalize everything here in America. And then that way, it becomes a legitimate business everywhere. And then there's no more real drug violence. You don't have the cartels. I mean, you'll have the businesses that will then kind of become like cartels sometimes down there where they can. But at the same time, it's not going to be a violent, gang-ridden hellhole that people are trying to escape. They'll just probably look for employment.
Yeah, there's all kinds of articles here. Colorado, just look up Colorado marijuana hurts cartels, and plenty of articles here that talks about just Colorado alone, you know.
Right. So if we were to legalize cocaine,
I actually think most people that deal in drugs aren't bad people, aside from the cartels. Cartels are just a minority in the drug dealing business, you know, and because of the language and the culture of things, we just call them criminals, people that are going around selling marijuana. But they're technically not criminals because society can't be a victim. That doesn't make any sense.
right? Like I understand that people are worried about people selling drugs to children,
They're not doing that.
but they're not doing that.
They're not doing
They're
that.
not doing that. My
Drugs are expensive.
Right. My entire youth, I was offered weed once when I was 15 by a friend of mine who had it.
Mm-hmm.
Who was, I don't know where he got it from.
Yeah,
but
not a drug dealer.
yeah.
What fucking drug dealer gives away their product?
Right. Nobody. Right.
Especially marijuana.
Even as I got older, it was on the rarest of occasions that somebody was like, "Here, have free drugs."
Yeah.
It's not happening.
No, it's not.
It is 100% not happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that everything should be legal, and I get a lot of pushback on that from people, but I think that everything should be legal, and if we were to do that, it would really curtail all of the drug cartel violence going on in these countries that people are seeking asylum from.
Yeah.
Therefore, if we want to stop immigration, the immigration issue, not stop immigration.
The illegal immigration.
Right.
The illegal immigration.
If we want to curtail the illegal immigration issue, all we have to do is legalize all drugs.
Yeah.
You don't have to do them. They're not going to be forced down your throat.
Yeah, and I was at a lecture at the Mises Institute 2 years ago, and the lecture was called "How We Won the War on Drugs," and it was by the vice president of the Mises Institute. I forget his name, and one of the things he was talking about is how when we made marijuana so illegal and so hard to get and had the punishment so bad, that's what caused people to start going to other drugs. It's actually like an economics thing, because the density, I guess, of marijuana, a pound of marijuana is a lot bigger than a pound of cocaine.
Yes.
Or meth, you know.
Right. It's like a pound of feathers versus a pound of
rocks
sands.
or something.
Right.
Yeah, which caused drug dealers to have to, find an alternative drug that they could still make just as much money on or more. And they went to that other stuff, cocaine, all of it, because you can move a whole lot more in a sedan than you can now in the vans and 18-wheelers they used to use, and so even legalizing marijuana alone would do so much good to
hinder.
To stop people from not only dealing in that stuff but even using it, so
100%. Real quick, Walmart came out with a summer fashion line, and it said it was a series of T-shirts that said "Impeach 45."
Yeah.
And they got a lot of pushback from right wingers who were saying that, if you sell this, we're going to boycott your store, we're going to do protests, whatever. They immediately pulled them down off of line. You can't find them anymore. I'm certain that they're out there somewhere. I'm certain some company is selling them. But I believe that Walmart immediately backed off of that one. And I find that weird that Walmart, of all companies, would have started selling that at their store.
I don't get it because they're big. Like,
Yeah.
they're everywhere. You're going to really piss off half of the people that use you.
Right. I could see... Man, I forgot the name of that store. The one that did the Kent State shirt.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Target.
No, it wasn't Target. It was oh crap. I don't know. It's one of those hipster stores.
Yeah.
It's one of the hipster stores that I used to shop at. But they had, like, at one point they had Kent State, like a Kent State shirt, but it had bullet holes in it with blood around it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, you can find it online. Like, you can't find it for sale online anywhere, but you can find pictures of it. And I can't remember the name of the company that did that. But I could see them doing something like that. I could see, the Hot Topic doing something like that. I could see stores like that. Walmart, that's a little weird that they were like, okay, we're gonna step out here in this one and just kind of try this, especially when I feel as though many of the policies being passed recently are good for the Waltons.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel that way.
And most of their stores are around like redneck areas.
Right.
And redneck areas vote for Trump.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
You're right. I mean, I wouldn't have called it.
I can say that I'm a redneck.
Right. He's a Muslim redneck. Yeah, so I find it really weird that Walmart would do this. It doesn't make sense for the way that their company seems to run.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure what they were thinking about on that one.
Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, I guess. Something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got. You got anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. Just enjoy the day tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody enjoy 4th of July tomorrow. Enjoy Independence Day. Spend it with family. Spend it with friends. Go to a barbecue. Call Uber if you get drunk. Call Uber if you don't. I don't care. But tomorrow on this channel, Muddied Waters of Freedom, Facebook.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom, you can watch Spike Cohen with his brand new show, My Fellow Americans.
It's an echo.
It's an echo if you don't know what that...
And he's Jewish, so you're going to like it.
He is. He's very...
We're not Nazis. We have a Jew on the show.
And then Thursday is the episode 2 of The Writer's Block with another Jew on the show, Yehuda Reamer.
Nice.
Yes. So it's a very Jewish week here.
Yeah. I swear we're not Jewish.
No.
I mean, I swear we're not Nazis.
But yeah, so tune into both of those. Friday we'll have a new episode of My Liberty out. Next Monday? Is that when you're starting?
Yeah,
Okay.
next Monday.
Next Monday is going to be the first episode of Mo Liberty, and all of those are going to be able to be found live here on Facebook at facebook.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom. You can also check out, please check out our YouTube page. I have been spending so much time uploading all of these videos to YouTube, so please go to us and subscribe. We need a veritable fuck ton of subscribers on YouTube. So please, dear God, subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Share it. Tell everybody to subscribe to us on YouTube. Please, God. Yeah, do all of that. You can find us here on Facebook, again, at facebook.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom. You can find us on Twitter at Muddied_Waters. Real quick, congrats to Alex Mercer.
Merced.
Yes,
congrats.
Merced?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Unless I'm wrong, it's Merced, I think.
Oh, I thought it was Mercer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Both
Alex, to whichever Alex it is, congratulations on becoming the vice chair of the Libertarian Party. We were rooting for you. Sorry to the Libertarian Party for the re-election of Nick Sarwark.
Yeah.
Bill Weld will be the 2020 nominee.
Of course he is.
I know.
With that vote, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You can find us on Instagram at muddiedwatersofreedom.com, and you can follow us all the time at muddiedwatersofreedom.com. And one last bula for the road. Once again, Low Tide, thank you.
Bula. And remember, guys, where we're going.
We don't need roads.
And the breathing's getting harder. Trying to stay above the water. When we collide.
You always look like a star. I always look from afar. Too shy for your type, so when you said hi, guess you took me off guard. And you just laughed at my shyness. Felt like I was meeting her highness. Cause you were always a queen, made me feel like a king. And now here we are, yeah. And we ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. No matter what we've done, we put love in it. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. So when the storm shall come, we're still loving it.
Holding my breath until I crash into you. Holding on tight, you're the tide that makes me move. When we collide. When we collide. When we collide. Holding my breath until I crash into you. Holding on tight, you're the tide that makes me move. When we collide.
If the storm should come, if the war should fall, if the waters rise, if through it all, if we still have each other while the whole world is leaving, bleeding, feeling forgotten and sinking even, though the waves are crashing on us, that breathing's getting harder.
It's getting hard.
Try to stay above the water when we collide, yeah. Hey. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. No matter what we've done, we put love in it. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. We ain't worried about nothing. Let the storms come, they're still loving it.